Hey, how's it going, boys? It's been a while since my last FGO video, ever since I got obsessed with Genshin Impact. But now that there's another lottery event coming up, this tired old whale's gotta come back for his seasonal dick flattening for more boxes, I guess. Once again, I'm borrowing the spreadsheet made by Saber of Avalon and X0, link in the description, so make sure to thank them if you can for all the work they put into this. Take the next few days to read the spreadsheet over carefully if you're planning to farm this lotto. As with all Christmas lotteries, please note that farming nodes are time-gated, meaning that they don't come out all at once, but rather release progressively over the course of the event, with the best lottery currency node being released last a few days before the end of the event. This means that efficiency-wise, you'd want to go hard on farming only towards the end, but let me kindly remind you that if you don't farm hard in the beginning either, you'll miss out on potential lottery CE drops that you could use to improve your lottery currency farming efficiency at the end. So deciding on how much you'll farm leading up to the best lottery node is just as important. Keep that in mind. That being said, let's get right into this. First things first, this event seems to be nowhere near as tough as Christmas 3 last year with a 400k HP Salter, for those of you who remember that. Moriarty only has about 180k HP, and he's the boss of the final node, so everyone else has less HP than that. This means that you can use a wider variety of servants for farming in this event, as you'll see in the spreadsheet or throughout this video. Second, the lottery seed that boosts Lotto currency drops is a star bomb and produces 15 stars even without being limit broken. This means that a full front line of Lotto CEs instantly gives you 45 stars to play with for turn 1. As you can imagine, this in turn means that pretty much every farming team in this event that doesn't involve Scotty meming will rely on crit farming turn 1, which means that a clean 3 turn will rely on face card RNG. So if you run into a bad hand on turn 1, it's better to wait until the next turn to get better face cards, then use skills to buff. Third, this lottery has damage bonuses for quite a few servants actually, so make sure to put them to use if you have them leveled. For those of you who plan to roll Brad and can max her right away, she can be part of your Scotty meme teams for several rotations, even though she's not normally a Scotty looper, thanks to her damage bonus for this event. The drops for this event are lanterns and shoes during first rotation, scarabs and chains during second, tar and bones during third, frost and gear during fourth, rings and crystals during fifth, hearts and fluids during sixth, and talons and feathers during 7th. There's a special node that costs belts to farm instead of AP, and you get belts from the boxes. This node gives you gold shop currency and soaps in case you're interested in that. This is the first rotation against Sabers. The only 6-slot team is Helena Archer, Arash, Ishtar, and Plugsuit Waver, and Ishtar needs to find 10% charge before Wave 2. Gilgamesh can replace Ishtar, but either he or Arash need to find 30% charge somewhere instead. You can always drop a Lotto CE and give one of your archers a starting charge CE though. Your usual Scotty memes should all work here. Of note, since these are all Sabers, remember to use Nyanta for easy class advantage. And a possible free-to-play team is Nitocris, Archer Nobu, Arash, and Support Waver or Scotty. If you don't have Nitocris, you'll have to rely on an Archer replacement to face card turn 1. This is the second rotation against Assassins. There are quite a few 6-slot teams for this, one with Perry, Anastasia, Waver, and Plugsuit Nitocris, one with 2 50% battery AoE casters of your choice with double Waver, one with Arash, Anastasia, Nito, and double Waver, and another with Nito, Da Vinci, and double Waver. There are also some interesting teams that use Scheherazade for Wave 3 since the servant boss is Nito Assassin, so her anti-royalty bonus works here. In case you got spooked by her too many times, now you might finally have a good use for her. For the Scotty memers, you can actually use the Lancers here, but neither of them will one-shot the third wave and require follow-up face cards. Thankfully, these are assassins, so Scotty face cards may help out here. Some free-to-play teams are Babbage, Zeeg, Nitocris, and Waver, and Perry, Zeeg, Arash, and Waver. This is the third rotation against Lancers. The go-to 6-slot team for this is Saber and Morty, who are teaming up again like they did for Guildfest a few months back with double Waver. Make sure to use Mordred for Wave 3 since she has 500 more attack than her dad does. In case you don't have both of the 30% charge Sabers, replace one of them with a 20% charge Saber if you have one of those instead, though you'll need to find 10% charge for them by the time they need to use their MP. Brad can start looping with this rotation since skeletons give higher than usual MP generation for your servants, so in case you're starting to get bored of Valk or Parvati looping, or you just want to see constant ass on your screen, I won't judge, keep her in mind. Unfortunately, free-to-plays may have some trouble with this rotation since Arash obviously isn't great against Lancers, but he does have his damage bonus, so maybe he can at least take out Wave 1 for you. That, and there aren't a lot of free-to-play friendly Sabers, especially the ones that have charge skills, so use whoever you can for this one. This is the 4th rotation against Riders. This rotation is really interesting because there are a lot of servants who can work in 6-slot teams, and many of them are actually modular here, meaning that they can be used for either waves 2 or 3. Of note, Okta Alter can finally demonstrate why she had so much farming potential before Scotty came out, because she actually outdamages assassins on wave 3. Fran joins the Scotty meme team as a looper in this rotation, assuming you have Nightingale or BB to deal with her self-stuns. Brad again returns as a potential Scotty looper as well. Again, there are no truly free-to-play teams for this rotation either, unfortunately, but at least you can use Arash comfortably again. Some teams to consider are Arash, Summer Skaha, Waver and Scotty, or Arash, Astolfo, and Double Scotty. If you want to use Samba Kets, this is the first rotation where you can actually put her into a team. Keep in mind that she can only be MP1 at this point since you can't get her extra MP levels until the end of the event, so you have to rely on her getting her face cards for wave 3 to finish off Rider Ishtar. This is the 5th rotation against Berserkers. Note that since they're Berserkers, many of the teams in the previous rotations should also work here, so play around with your previous teams to see which one's the comfiest to farm with and still works for this node. There are some new teams though. Astolfo and Achilles, who both have damage bonuses, can team up with Waver and Scotty for a 6-slot team, and if you don't have Achilles, Arash can take his place pretty easily. Another team is Saber or Summer BB, Ishtar, and Double Waver. There's also a somewhat free-to-play 6-slot team with Jailter, Arash, Double Waver, and Shakespeare. There are a few more free-to-play team options in the spreadsheet, but if you're free-to-play with your own Jailter and Waver, this could be your go-to team for this node. This is the 6th rotation against Casters. The go-to 6-slot team is Surfdred, Parry, either Lonling or Helena Archer, and Plugsuit Waver. Lonling is actually the perfect support here because he has 20% targetable charge, charisma, and an arts buff, all of which Surfdred needs to arts meme this node. You can also drop a CE so that you can give Surfdred a 50% starting charge CE and better arts looping support if that's better for you. Other servants can arts meme this too, like Kiara or Hokusai, but they need limit broken scopes to pull it off. Marie can Scotty meme this node since all the enemies are casters if you'd like to give Marie a spin. Although there aren't any dedicated free-to-play teams listed on the spreadsheet, you should have a lot of rider options to pick from and still be able to put something together, so consult the spreadsheet since it has a lot of suggestions for you to look through. Finally, the 7th and last rotation against Archers. The 6-slot teams all have some sort of RNG with them, either charge RNG or damage RNG. The most reliable one that I see is the team with Karna, Lartoria, and Double Waver, since all you need is to get Karna 5% charge somewhere before wave 3. You can also use other AoE Lancers like Erish and Jailter, and since Moriarty is man attribute, Hokusai can work against him too, but you'll need additional face cards to finish him off most of the time. Hilariously, there are a few triple NP teams that don't involve Scotty memeing, at least not in the usual sense. Lartoria, Erish, and even Astolfo can all triple NP with a 5-slot team if you're interested in that. There should also be some options that you free-to-plays can use like Jailter, Romulus, Nitocris, and Support Waver, or Arash, Paul, Double Waver, and Samba Kets. As always with every lottery, see what teams you can build and use the spreadsheet as a guide to modify the teams it suggests into ones that you can use if you can't copy it exactly. And another friendly reminder that we're not gonna get a rerun for this event, so you better fucking play it at least for Samba Kets.